Welcome to the video. Today, I finally did a 30-day art challenge and almost finished it. This one was the 2024 Cringetober prompt list by Austin the Surfer Dude. And I intended to complete it in October, but I had a problem. My schedule for October was very busy for about the last week or so. So I thought I'll do it early in September so I could actually get it done. And then that didn't happen. So this is actually not 30 days. It's late September to early November. So about maybe 45-ish day challenge. I have my reasons, I've said it already. I didn't even draw them chronologically in the right order. So while I am explaining in the video in the order of the prompt list, that is by no means the chronological order in which I drew them. I had a lot of fun. I didn't script this intro. I just want to get into the prompt, so that's what we're gonna do. Right into the cringe. Day one, which I started like September 22nd, I think, was a redraw of a screenshot. So I drew the scene from Kaguya-sama Love is War because I really like Kaguya-sama Love is War. I don't watch a lot of anime nowadays just because time, but I used to watch a lot of anime. I didn't want to draw the same show or game for each prompt, even if I really liked it at the time. You know, I want there to be variety in the challenge. For a first day, it was pretty enjoyable, though I don't really like the end product of it that much. I was especially having trouble with the background colors. Everything just sort of blended together. I wasn't feeling the line art. So for the background, I ended up just making it one color. A lot of editing, but it's pink because romance, it's a rom-com anime. But still, it was enough for the first day. That's a start. The prompt for day two was tsunderes, so I drew Natsuki from Doki Doki Literature Club because I love Doki Doki Literature Club. I keep rewatching videos where it's like breaking down every DDLC scare, like why DDLC is the perfect horror game, because I agree with them. I really like the writing of Doki Doki. I do believe that it's one of those like iconic games in the psychological horror genre. I like Natsuki, but I don't really like tsunderes in general. It's not that I hate them. They were never really my thing. Like even with DDLC, I would have gravitated more towards Yuri, but then I realized there wasn't a Monica route. Whenever it wasn't explicitly a choice between only 3 of the girls, I would just go towards Monica because I wanted to see if I could get Monica to like me. Then I realized Monica didn't even have an official route, and that just made me sad. So I don't really care about tsunderes, though there is a theory that I was introduced to by my friend, and I say theory, it's literally just a one-off comment that they said. I was listening to a few songs about tsunderes. There's this one, I don't remember what it's called, but for whatever reason, I was listening to the lyrics and I was like, wait, why is this, am I cooked? Like, why is this slightly relatable? Should I be concerned? So I asked my friend, like, hey, should I be concerned? And they just hit me with, isn't being a tsundere just being scared of love? And I just sit there for a moment, like, they might have a point. If that's just by definition, then I would probably like a tsundere character that just has that reasoning, like they like someone but they're still not willing to commit to it for whatever reason, but they were gonna actively just be annoying and just bully them and harass them, you know? I think you can see in the recording, I was having a lot of tripod issues. The first few days where I wanted to get more traditional drawing practice in, I had not used the tripod in a while, so I was struggling with like the sort of angle to get it on because I don't really have a whole recording space, it's just my desk. Also for the piece, I tried doing alcohol marker shading. I have used alcohol markers in the past, ohuhu and Copic markers specifically, except I sort of stopped doing them for a while, mostly because I wanted to practice digital, and it's also I didn't really understand how to shade them. From what I've seen with like a few video tutorials, they're basically saying that you go in with the light colors first and then layer the darker colors over them because that's how markers work. So I did that. I like how the hair turned out, but I'm not really sure about how the rest of it turned out. Day 3 was oversized weapon, and I don't know a lot of characters with oversized weapons, so it was hard to get a concept for it. I have played Genshin like a few times in my life. I want to play it more, but again, it's just the time constraint. So then I looked on the Genshin wiki for the biggest swords possible. In Genshin, the characters with swords that are specifically meant to be really big are claymores. They're like claymore wielding characters. So I looked for the thickest and largest claymores possible. I found the luxurious sea lord, the fish. And along with this, I was also thinking, wait, I can make the weapon really large, but even if it's like a slightly bigger than normal weapon, I could draw a smaller character holding a weapon, and it looks oversized for them because they're smaller. They should have a weapon that's more proportional to their size. Originally, I wanted to do about 2 full sketches of claymore wielding characters because I couldn't really decide between Eula and Sayu. I think I have Sayu in the game, but I don't have Eula. I was gonna do the 2 full sketches, except I settled on drawing 1 because because after finishing Eula, I remembered how detailed Genshin characters are. It's basically a meme at this point. So while I finished the sketch of Eula, I added a smaller sketch of Sayu at the end. I didn't record that one, but I do have a video and photo of the final sketches. And then I realized something. I don't have to do like fully rendered drawings for this challenge. I guess that was a given. No one told me I had to do completely rendered pieces, but I was just like, wait, I can just do this. The little sketch of Sayu with the fish claymore, I really like that one. That one might be my favorite, or at least one of my favorites out of the whole challenge. And by that point, I was doing this on September 30th. Ideally, I'd wanted to do mid-September to start, so I was already a bit later than what I wanted to do. I was a bit further behind, and given my plans for October, I thought this could go a lot faster if I just did smaller drawings. On day 4, I did not get to apply that because the prompt was fursona/fursuit. I don't have a fursona, and I don't know a lot of furries. I realized like only after doing the challenge that I could have just drawn someone else's, but I used the day to do practice sketches of just studying how to draw anthros and how to draw furries, specifically feline anthros, in order to get some practice to draw my D&D character better. While I wanted to do feline specifically, I ended up with a general study of just anthropomorphic mammals. The character in question that I want to get better at drawing is a tabaxi from the 5th edition of Dungeons and Dragons. It's basically the D&D version of anthropomorphic cats, cat people, furries, however you think of it. The main thing that I struggled with before when drawing my character was the legs, and that's primarily because of the anatomy of cat legs versus human legs. Cats' legs are shaped a bit differently than human legs because the proportions of the bones in their legs are different. While humans are plantigrade, which is walking on the soles of their feet with their heels touching the ground, cats are digitigrade. They walk with their toe bones or phalanges on the ground, and the rest of the foot bones are lifted. So the weird bent part of the cat's hind legs is actually its a version of an ankle, technically. So it is not a joint. And the knee is supposed to be somewhere over here. It's closer to the hip, though the angle between the hip and the knee can vary. All this to say that is probably why fursona legs look like that. The animal species might be digitigrade. You're welcome for the cat anatomy lesson. I know that's what you clicked here for. Here's the drawings. In an effort to get further into the challenge, I did both prompts 5 and 6 on October 2nd. Prompt 5 was Gijinka, which is basically a human version of a non-human character. So I drew the Kotobukiya Sunset Shimmer figure because they cooked with these figures. And prompt 6 was unnatural eye color. So I drew a humanized Rainbow Dash with pink eyes because Rainbow Dash has pink eyes. They're both My Little Pony, I don't know what to tell you. I drew both of these on the same Procreate canvas, so I ended up just alternating between the sunset layers and the Rainbow Dash layers. You'll probably see that in the speed paint. That's why I grouped them together here. Since practicing more traditional art the past week, I was hoping at least a bit to slightly improve digitally, or at least be more comfortable with it. So while I did have less instances of just looking back and going like, oh, why does it look like that? Ew. I was more comfortable with the drawing process, but I don't think there's that much difference in skill because obviously it takes a lot more practice and probably a lot more studies than just studies of furries to get any technical improvement. So mostly I just felt more used to the process of drawing. While I do try to draw pretty frequently, more often than not, it doesn't really go beyond rudimentary sketches. They look nice like when I'm looking at them, doodles next to my schoolwork, but they are far from something I'd put in an actual portfolio, for example. It's just a combination of having limited time and limited ideas, and about half the ideas I don't even feel I could execute well because I just need more practice in the medium. So in the sense, doing prompt challenges like Cringetober is helping me at just getting me to draw. So this is going to be a long section. The prompt was crossover, but when it came time to draw and when I was planning what to do for these, I misremembered what a crossover was. To my understanding, a crossover is when two different franchises come together in the sense that while they now share a universe or canon, the events and characters of each franchise are still separate. Like character A and character B meet, but character A doesn't like suddenly take on character B's role in the other universe like they would in an AU. They just somehow are able to see each other. But I searched this up. Apparently some people do consider AUs to be a sort of subgenre of crossovers. So essentially they're fusion crossovers. So while in a normal crossover, the universes are separate, in a fusion crossover, the two universes are basically mixed together, creating a new universe and a new canon. So I'm gonna cheat a bit, mostly because during the time I thought I could just make an AU. I made an AU, and it was a bit more fleshed out than was necessary for a simple crossover prompt drawing, and I want to talk about it because I love both of these franchises, so fucking sue me. This is my AD idea for a Ninjago x My Little Pony Gen 4 fusion crossover / alternate universe. What I thought of doing initially before actually starting Cringetober was to pick a franchise to make pony versions of, because My Little Pony, that was literally my entire childhood. But about a week or so later, which was around I think late September to October 1st, I decided to flip it around, because I feel like making pony versions of other franchises has just been done too many times already. I like it, don't get me wrong, but I see pony versions of other characters way more often than I see other franchise versions of the ponies. So I started thinking like, okay, I'm gonna put the ponies in Ninjago. Since we already have the main 6, I could just correlate them to the 6th ninja, even though Nia technically became a ninja in season 5. And since Twilight is the main character and the element of magic, Twilight would stand in for Lloyd / the green ninja, who has all the elemental powers. Then I realized this also works because Twilight is a protege of Celestia, who has a sibling that was once a villain, just like Master Wu. The only thing that's different is that Twilight isn't Princess Luna's daughter, but that's irrelevant, I don't care. So that kind of snowballed into everything else. The color coding of the ninja, their elements, and how the events of Friendship is Magic can be translated into the Ninjago universe. This is how I did it. Twilight Sparkle is the purple ninja who can use all elemental powers and is destined to save the world and all that. The 5 elements of the rest of the main 6, who act as Twilight's mentors and protectors, are water, ice, fire, earth, and lightning. They're all color-coded by the rainbow, since all the attacks of the Friendship is Magic elements of Harmony all resemble a rainbow. And I know the reason it's not an actual rainbow is that historically the color green didn't sell well in girls' toys or whatever. I'm making it an actual rainbow, because I hate that. Pinkie Pie is the fire ninja, and her color is red. Applejack is the earth ninja, her color is orange. Rainbow Dash is the lightning ninja, her color is yellow. This one was admittedly a pretty hard decision. Fluttershy is the water ninja, her color is green, and Rarity is the ice ninja, and her color is blue. Feel free to criticize my element and color assignments in the comments. The engagement helps either way. For the actual Cringetober drawing, at the top I was drawing Twilight's hypothetical pilot outfit and her hypothetical season 1 outfit. Twilight's season 1 outfit is based on classic Ninjago's season 1 outfits for the ninja, but her pilot outfit is based on the black gi from the Ninjago pilot, and this isn't just because the hypothetical pilot and seasons correlate. The idea is that Twilight arrives to Ponyville in the black gi because that is what the Ninjago ninja wore when training with Wu before Kai joined, and they weren't assigned elements and colors. However, in season 1 of Ninjago, Lloyd does not have a ninja uniform like the rest of the ninja, but unlike Lloyd, Twilight would already have some training in Spinjitzu and is actually the same age as the rest of the main 6. However, in season 1, she still wouldn't have been able to use elemental power very effectively since it was still new to her, so like Lloyd, she's destined to be the purple ninja instead of immediately becoming the purple ninja. So until she actually becomes the purple ninja, her gi would be black like her training one, but it might have some purple accents on it or something. At the time, I hadn't decided whether or not to keep the ponies ponies or to make them human. However, it has been about a month since I drew that initial concept art, and I'm leaning more towards ponies. And the reasoning being horse martial arts. And also, I found it hard to maintain an equestrian motif in a universe with only humans, and the main gimmick is not horses, but in fact ninjas. So here are the final concepts for a Ninjago fusion crossover of Friendship is Magic. And if you already saw the prompt list, no, I did not remember that Prompt 18 was already Fandom AU during planning. I just straight up forgot that. So evidently day 7 took a while and also a bit to explain, so I got really tired on October 3rd from drawing that, and I was just sleepy in general. So I did day 8 at school before going home to do day 7. The prompt was Den meme, so I just drew Nyan Cat because Nyan Cat, little silly guy. I used to have the Nyan Cat app like on my phone, the platforming one. I don't know if anyone remembers it. It's a quick and easy drawing, we love to see it. The next one, day 9, the prompt was childhood video game. I've been on Roblox for a while, and honestly, I was not that psyched about drawing some basic ass iPad game because I'd basically be drawing Barbie fan art instead of something that I could actually customize like an avatar. I don't know how many people are thinking this, but I will say it anyway. What, so you didn't play Animal Jam? Or I don't know, Movie Star Planet? I did play Animal Jam, I just completely forgot about that. So you are getting late 2010s Roblox. Plus, I don't have screenshot references for my old Animal Jam outfits, but I do for Roblox, because I made a video about it and then privated it. These are just a few of the saved outfits that I remember and just really bad sketch quality, but the nostalgia was nice to draw, I think. The very top one is when I first got Robux, I bought that one straight brown hair, ripped jeans, and this Pusheen shirt, though the pose I chose didn't show the front of the skirt, so I ended up doing an even sketchier sketch beside it to draw what the shirt actually looked like. And the others are just other variations of my avatar before about 2019, if I remember right.
Okay, so I'm drawing right. I look at my reference.
What is this? What is this? Why the fuck was I wearing, like, what are those, flip-flops? Why was I wearing flip-flops? What even are those shorts? What the hell? What? The text on the shirt is supposed to say, "So lazy, can't move," and I had no idea the pants I was using had flip-flops until I actually looked at the reference to draw them. Why is my girl wearing flip-flops? I would not have done that. The last one, I tried out this hair hack from one of the Roblox YouTubers that I used to watch. You take the free blonde hair and you wear another hair at the same time, and it's just shorter, messier blonde hair, so together it looks like long, messy blonde hair. This was before Roblox had an app version for the PC. Like, you had to go on the website in a browser and find a game, and then it would start the Roblox client. You can technically go to the website and join a game without having to open the client, but back then there straight up was no Roblox app. The client would only open once you click a game from the website. One of the things you could do in the avatar editor was manually input the IDs of accessories from their URLs to wear them. So that's what I did for that outfit, and that is all for this one. I kind of miss 2016 to 2019 Roblox. I decided a while ago for day 10 that I would do an enemies to lovers pairing for the prompt ship dynamic, because it's Cringetober. That's one of the most classically cringe ship tropes there is. Then I decided later to draw Catradora from the 2018 She-Ra reboot, just for nostalgia's sake. God, thinking of 2020's nostalgic as a weird. I redrew the princess prom scene with that one screen cap where Catra and Adora are dancing, Adora gets dipped. Like, bro did not have to do all of that. That's kind of suspicious. Not very casual. Back when I actually watched the 2018 She-Ra, I loved it, and it's one of 2 or 3 shows that I've rewatched more than once. Though there are definite problems with the show that, honestly, they just glazed over my mind on the first watch because I was just having too much fun. I'm glad, of course, that I can think about it more critically now, but talking about it would make the segment take too much time talking about something that isn't through a drawing on screen. This isn't supposed to be a She-Ra analysis. But still, unsurprisingly, the She-Ra reboot was a significant inspiration for some of my characters and the universe that groups a bunch of them together in the same canon. It's mostly the way that the first ones integrated magic into technology. I believe the trope itself is called Magitech, and how the Horde and overarching plot lean more into sci-fi and aliens over time, while the main cast still feels more whimsical and fantasy. That's all I can say without spoiling too much, though I guess it has been 4 years since the show ended. I drew the drawing itself in pencil. That's it. I'm not sure what sort of material I have to use to finish pencil drawings or varnish them, just so I don't want them to smudge on my sketchbook, so I literally just put tape over it. So I drew some of the prompts together to just save my own energy, and day 11 is one of these. The prompt was 5+1 things, which probably needs some explanation. Like, I had to look this one up before drawing. I struggled with the concept for multiple weeks actually, hence it being chronologically one of the last drawings I did. 5+1 things refers to a story structure or a trope in fanfiction where 5 events or scenes follow a certain theme, followed by one last event or scene that contradicts or differs from the last 5. So it would be like 5 times a character tries to sacrifice themselves and 1 time they don't, or 5 times they weren't able to confess that they like each other and 1 time they finally did. And just by scrolling the 5+1 things tag on IO3, it looks pretty versatile as a trope. I've never read a 5+1 fic or a story in general, and I didn't feel like finding one that I read and liked to make fan art, and I didn't feel like coming up with a 5+1 series of events for my own characters, because while it is fun to think about, that would take just forever to draw and explain. Though as inspiration struck from day 16, where, spoiler, I drew a cat, I rediscovered this cat. Across Twitter and other social media, there's various images of it. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he is known as Apple Cat on the Silly Cat Wiki. Apple Cat would be in a photo with an apple or some other fruit or object, and the poster's caption or replies or comments would always be filled with stuff like, "His greed sickens me. He does not need 2 apples." So for 5+1 things, I redrew 5 images of the Apple Cat with some sort of object held in his paws, and 1 image where he has nothing. 5 times his greed sickens, and 1 time he is content without material possession. What a moral. And this includes the best fruit I have ever drawn.
Procreate thought he was new.
So day 12 was Vocaloid, and I was honestly really brain dead at that time, chronologically in terms of drawing ideas, so I just drew Miku as the Roblox baller. Genuinely, I don't know what to say about this, so I'm just gonna list some of my favorite Vocaloid songs. Matryoshka, Bad Girl Online, Rolling Girl, Dai 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 Kirai, Lag Train, Donut Hole, and Lost Ones Weeping. If anyone knows Vocaloid songs that sound like heavy metal, please drop them in the comments. I'll give you internet points. Day 13 is Rule 63 of the internet, aka gender bend. I still have Ninjago brain rot, so I drew Lloyd. And also at that point I'd been delayed by schoolwork in October, so I did day 13 on October 14. Not a good state if I wanted to complete everything by October 20th. I didn't want Lloyd's gender bend to just be same character but with long hair and boobs like a lot of other 2010s gender bends. Like, it's 2024, gender is not real. Give up. So I decided to give him different hairstyles as the seasons progress. Season 1 Lloyd is getting the ugly classic Nia bob. Like, I'm sorry Nia fans. I don't like her hair. I hated her hair. What is this? Seasons 2 through 8, I decided that Lloyd would let her hair grow out and then tie it back until she figures out how she wants it. Season 8, she finds out what kind of hairstyle she likes, and that is wolf cut. Lloyd would just think it's cool, you know, in the same way he thought that like snakes and darkness were cool. The season 8 hair would be shoulder length and it can be put into a ponytail, but the hair would still be falling out. Day 14 was incorrect quote. Fortunately for me, I have an entire Google Doc of just randomly generated incorrect quotes on a group of my OCs from the same universe. I chose 3 of the quotes to draw, covering about 4 characters, technically 5 if you count the eye symbol that replaces an actual character in the final. The one with blue hair is actually on my Artfight profile. I'll hopefully redraw her reference sheet by next year, but I don't know about the others. She is really the only one in this whole canon whose design has stayed consistent without any significant changes, but the others have gone through quite a bit. There's line art mistakes like the band-aid and just like okay color choices, they could be better, but I think I can partially credit that to me having Nightlight turned on for my PC constantly. So when I sent the files from my iPad to my PC, I thought there was some huge color calibration error in my iPad, but no, I just had less blue light. However, I want to point out, like for clarity, that the eyes and the hair of the character in the gold dress on the right is not an error. Her eyes and hair are supposed to be glowing, but the stupid pixel brush doesn't do that. I'm really trying to stick to the idea of just quick sketches or quick art where I'm not going for quality and I'm just having fun. It mostly worked. Not really towards the end, but at the start I was working with this piece. Just don't look at it with nightlight on. So day 15 was animation meme. I cannot get that done by October's end, even if I followed my original plan. So I finished every other prompt as of editing. Here's what I have so far of day 15. Technically this is an animatic instead of an animation meme, but I don't really care. I was able to concept an entire storyboard instead of like half of one. I'm just proud of that accomplishment alone. Though around late October I did find an actual sort of animation meme to do, but I'm gonna finish the animatic first and then do that animation meme. Whichever one I finish first I'll post. The song that I chose for the animatic is My Body's Made of Crushed Little Stars by Mitski, and the animatic, both of them really, are about my OC because of course it is. Day 16 is the other part of the canvas from day 11, and the prompt was something you've been bullied for. Unfortunately for the prompt, I'm not really sure I ever got bullied. I definitely fit into the weird art kid label for at least elementary and middle school, so it's not like there wasn't anything to bully me for. I was so bullyable. This is not an invitation to bully me. Anyway, I fit well enough into the quiet kid archetype according to my friends from that time, and the school itself was really small, so I'm not outright denying that bullying ever happened at the school, but like everyone knew each other well enough, and I think they were generally nice to each other. I mean, the possible worst case scenario is that people just talk shit about me behind my back, but you know, I wasn't there, how would I know? No one was ever outright mean to my face. For all I know, I could have been in the clear. Though even if it saved me from being publicly hated, there are a lot more downsides to not talking to anyone for years of your childhood. Overall, would not recommend. 1 out of 5 stars. So my actual drawing for the prompt is simple enough of a concept, just some things that I think are pretty bullyable of me. First being that I'm neurodivergent, and second being that I listen to depressed people music. I got the cat with emo hair image to reference because I was initially just gonna say that I listen to sad emo music as a joke, but emo as a throwaway adjective is not the same thing as the emo music genre, a whole subculture that is so commonly used as an adjective to describe edgy alternative music and weird kids. So I don't really want to contribute to all of that. I have Lemon Demon and Taylor Swift in the same playlist, so I have banned myself from discussing music genres. Day 17 was free to use base, so I was immediately just gonna go for a TV show like Equestria Girls, Monster High, that sort. I settled on Winx Club because while I never watched the show, I have always liked the exaggerated stylization of the art. If you want 2D animation where the line art isn't round and clean, literally just look at shows from the 2000s. I drew an OC for a different canon, and more specifically, their original design is a Roblox NPC. And as of now, I don't know if I want these characters to stay in Roblox or be in their own game entirely, because while I have seen lore-heavy Roblox games done well, it's still Roblox, the company who keeps making terrible updates to the platform. Modern Roblox sucks. But like, at least we have, I don't know, my wife left me tycoon. So this character, and by proxy, this other group of OCs, separate from the ones in Day 14, are all inspired by both Weirdcore/Dreamcore and Roblox Asylum games. I used to play Depride Isle Sanatorium and a few other games, but they always had like internal drama with their developers, so the genre definitely isn't as popular as it was like in its peak. The character I'm drawing is just an NPC concept for this idea of my own sort of Asylum game, which is also contributing to my struggle of what platform to work on this, because Roblox just has genres that you can't really get anywhere else besides chat rooms. And I don't just mean Roblox social hangout games, I'm talking roleplay games like Royal High, Roblox High School. What other platform can I get those? You take away their gimmicks like living in a neighborhood or going to school or being a princess. They're just hangout vibe games in a different font. Bloxburg is just multiplayer Sims. I think the main thing that would make or break the decision is just how much I want multiplayer, but I don't have the time for that, so I'll save that when I go to college or something. Day 18 was Fandom AU, which was easy for me after I twisted Day 7. I just drew more Ninjago My Little Pony. So here's more lore for Ninjago My Little Pony. Celestia and Luna are masters of Spinjitzu, the white ninja and the black ninja respectively. Luna still turns evil into Nightmare Moon and she still gets reformed and everything. Celestia would have taught Twilight Spinjitzu, at least Canterlot style of Spinjitzu, but Twilight cannot advance. She's already beat every other Canterlot ninja at her age and rank, but beyond practice combat, she often refuses to train with anyone or make any attempt to connect with them outside of training. Celestia decides to make Twilight basically study Spinjitzu abroad in Ponyville. She also instructs Twilight to make an effort to befriend the ninja in Ponyville, and that cooperation and connection is supposed to improve her Spinjitzu somehow, the power of friendship and whatnot. It's called Friendship is Magic, guys. So eventually the rest of the main six are tasked with helping Twilight train and teaching her Ponyville Spinjitzu, and when Twilight is revealed to be the purple ninja, they also act as her protectors while she's still learning and adjusting to her power. Since Twilight isn't a literal child when she first meets the main six like Lloyd, I'd imagine her friend's protector role to be more like the Sailor Guardian's role in Sailor Moon, protecting Princess Serenity, who is now Sailor Moon and fights alongside them. Rapid fire days 19, 20, 22, 23, and 30 are all on the same canvas. 19 was alternative fashion, and spoilers, since I planned on drawing Ida for day 20, I wanted to draw more Owl House, so I put Amity in a trad goth dress. Season 3/future Amity specifically because I like her hair color. I gave her a dress with bat wings that I wanted to show off, so I changed the pose to the open arms lesbian pose. The necklace in the end is sort of covering the first belt, but I tried to make it the sigil for the Emperor's Coven. Day 20, I already said I'm drawing Ida the Owl Lady. The prompt was Tumblr Sexy Woman. I'm not attracted to anyone, but I love Ida. Ida is awesome. Day 21 was Closet Cosplay, which I really struggled with, so I saved it for after I finished all the drawing prompts. I know there's stuff in my closet that I could probably use for a few characters, but I don't know them. In the end, I just succumbed to brain rot. I found a white tank top, navy pants, and a belt with a silver buckle to cosplay Lena from the Among Us of 2024, Roblox's Dress to Impress. Day 22 was Candy Gore, so gore warning, there's gore. It's pink, but it features blood and intestines. If you don't want to see that, you can skip to the timestamp on screen. Conceptually, Candy Gore sounds awesome, but about halfway through I forgot I had to make it Candy Gore, not just gore but pink. So my girl has little candies in her intestines. They're not digested at all, they're just part of her now, and you could probably tell by now this is Ibuki from Danganronpa. If not Ibuki, then probably Mikan or Chiaki would work well with the aesthetics, but I already just liked Ibuki the most. Prompt 23 was adult cartoon, and when I watched the video explaining all of the prompts made by the person who did the prompt list,
adult cartoons, specifically, not. But you know, shows like Has Been Hotel, Smiling Friends, Amazing Digital Circus are all some examples of cartoons that are geared towards adult audiences, but you know, you can pick whatever you want.
I love the amazing digital circus. So I drew another sad head empty pomni to add to the canon of sad wet cat energy pomnis. The general consensus is that kids can watch it, but it is best suited for teens and adults. Day 24 was niche interest. This is where I got to draw more D&D, except not really, but it is related to the campaign. The campaign that I'm in with just a group of friends is supposed to be set within the world from Okami, a Capcom game from 2006 based on Japanese folklore. Okay, emergency update. I'm editing this in December. Okami is getting a sequel. It was announced like a few days ago, so I don't know how niche it is anymore, but it is getting a sequel now. Maybe I'll actually play it one day. This is awesome. I had other niche interests I wanted to draw, but this was one I could make about D&D because the cat god in Okami, Kabegami, created the 5th edition Tabaxi in our campaign. And I'm sure you can search up Okami fanart or Okami memes to get a few results, but when I searched for specific fanart of my warlock patron and an individual celestial brush god on Pinterest, there was a significant lack. That is what I care about the most. How can I make a Pinterest board for my OC lore without pins to save? And I am also cheating a bit here because D&D campaigns have to be the most niche fandoms possible, because if they aren't live streamed, there's only like 6 people who know about it, and that is just the players. It hurts. I miss my patron and I miss my cat god. I want to see more of them, so I made more of them. I redrew this screenshot of a cat I found on Instagram as Kabegami. They're lying on a stalk of corn. They're comfy. Day 25 was Gacha Life, so I got to redraw some of my old Gacha OCs from mini movies I made and are now privated on the channel. The one on the right is from a video called The Rainbow Clover, and it was basically this girl goes to a forest and she finds this color-changing rainbow clover, and it gives her good luck throughout the day basically. And it came from some fairy world. I lost the plot here, but it came from this fairy world, and she uses the clover to open a portal to the fairy world, and it turns out she's the daughter of the fairy queen or something. I got the idea for it back in like elementary school or so as a St. Patrick's special, but that was the first video idea I had that I made on a deadline, so I'm pretty proud of it. The girl on the left is from a mini movie just called Stylist, which was a milestone for me because it was the first video I made that was longer than 5 or 6 minutes, therefore designating it in my mind at the time as my first real long form content that's technically still on the channel and not deleted. Because I went through about 2 waves of making videos then deleting every single one of them instead of just privating them. Stylist was inspired by a lot of the videos that were like the girl whose hair changes color based on emotions or whose eyes change color based on her emotions. I thought of it while I was thinking of ideas for a different gacha video, but I got this idea and I was like, what if instead of changing the color of the hair based on emotions, you just change the hair entirely in general? You can do whatever you want with it. So it's about this girl. Technically, you can just cut your hair short, but like she can do it willingly. The longer hair, it's just gone. The hair is never cut off or anything, it's just gone. If she wants to grow it longer, she can just grow it longer within like a second. I think it would have been better if she was able to change the color, but I didn't do that for whatever reason, so it's literally just hair length. Not exactly the most interesting concept, but the movie itself, the plot, besides just the powers, I think is more interesting than the actual powers. It's really just basic gacha life stuff, friendship drama, I think. She has some obligatory love interest. He is completely flat, this is not a real person. But what I do remember is the scene with this obligatory love interest. They're on a cruise party or something. I made them go on a yacht. I was building up to this big climactic moment where she'd grow her hair so long that it goes into the ocean and it saves everyone from drowning. But she's on the cruise ship and she's talking with this guy, and one of her friends, like pushes her into him because there was this old gacha life trope that you'd fall onto someone or you trip on them and you just kiss. You kiss them immediately. So the idea that I had was this girl was trying to do that, but it failed because that doesn't happen in real life. And then she gets annoyed. She's like, oh my god, just kiss already. So she pushes them again, and this time they actually do kiss. God, that was cringe. This really fits with the video. 26, 28, and 29 were also all done together. 26 was self-insert or Mary Sue, so of course I drew a pony Sona. She doesn't have a name, but she's part pony, part changeling. I forgot what her cutie mark looked like when drawing, but it's supposed to have some sort of, I don't know, twinkly stars on it. I tried to make pony Sonas in the past, and the one that I most vividly remember had bright teal skin, the most vibrant yet still deep purple mane, and I could never decide if I wanted it to be a Pegasus a cis unicorn or an alicorn. Because I was the nerd going, but I can't make her an alicorn. It doesn't fit with the established lore of My Little Pony. I'm not a princess, I just want to hang around, so why would there be a 5th alicorn who isn't even doing princess duties? This was before Flurry Heart was added. Now, I didn't just make this pony an alicorn because I don't really feel like an alicorn type of person anymore. I would argue that making a half pony, half other creature hybrid is just as much, if not more, of a Mary Sue thing to do with a pony. 27 was YouTuber fan art, and to celebrate Cringetober, I wanted to do a YouTuber who I had watched as a child, and also with some content that would be sort of, classic cringe. Creepypasta, anime, indie horror video games. The one that came to my mind was Lauren Z-Side, partially because I still watch Lauren Z-Side sometimes. She's been on YouTube for a long time now, and I don't really think about the concept of my inner child that often, but my inner child was so excited when I found out that Lauren was gonna have a baby, and when she had another one. So I decided without too much thought that I was gonna try to do a more detailed, lineless version of my pixel brushed art style. I just redrew her profile picture. I traced the basic shapes of it, I admit it. I don't have a ton of realism skills, but oh my god, this one is also one of my favorites. This gives me hope that I could do this without tracing the basic shapes. Really no other comment on this, I love Lauren Z-Side. Day 28 was mascot horror, so of course I wanted to draw the Wallen Files. If you don't know, it's one of those FNAF-inspired animatronic horrors. The premise is that they find a bunch of VHS tapes about this old burger restaurant called Bronze Burgers, and there's scary things happening, but the animatronics and the restaurant owners have drama. What I like about it is it really nails the creepy old home video VHS thing. Actually, I don't know how realistic it is, I just like it. And I like how the sound design is absolutely terrible. You can watch it, the visuals, after watching a few of the visuals, they don't get that scary over time, but the sound design, even if you're not scared, it just weirds you out. You listen to it, you go, oh, what is this? And for talking about the majority of this drawing, I'm just gonna go into spoilers for the Wallen Files. Skip to this timestamp if you don't want spoilers. Alright, so what I like about it is something that I feel like Matt had summarized pretty well in his theory about the Wallen Files before leaving the Theorist channels.
We may learn these answers sooner than later, but at the end of the day, what I love about this series is that it's a story about human characters in a world full of animatronics, not a story about animatronic characters in a world full of humans. What makes the Wallen Files such an intensely disturbing story is that it's a family tragedy. Sure, there's certainly terrifying imagery and sound design, but it's just set dressing for real people going through intensely horrific situations. Life, a lot of times, is scary enough, and that's all you need. The killer bunny robot? That's just the cherry on top.
For the Wallen Files specifically, it's this fatal drunk driving accident by a man whose wife just left him and who has a long built-up history of an alcohol problem, and who just happens to run an animatronic restaurant business. Sure, if it wasn't Felix Kranken specifically who had this tragedy, there might not have been possessed animatronics about it, but the story isn't focused mainly on the animatronics themselves. All the entries so far have been focused on the human error that resulted in the animatronics being supernatural. At least assuming the next installments don't completely debunk this idea of where the story is going thematically. So I just redrew the Shaw Burger from episode 3, because again, look at her. Day 29 was experimental makeup, and I don't want to show my face on the internet, so I drew a makeup artist from TikTok and YouTube. I drew this look from Cindy Chen Designs, and I struggled. At first I wanted to go for a bit more realism than I'm used to, so I could get the details of the makeup with a style that allowed for more accuracy, so no line art, but that proved to be incredibly frustrating. So I caved and just redrew it with just rudimentary line art. I don't know. It's not as realistic, not the best, but at least it wasn't whatever happened before. I don't want to just dogpile on my art the whole time. I do like the way that I shaded the actual makeup, especially what I'm assuming is foundation and blush, the white and like pink around the edges. But those freaking pearls took forever to shade. Reality must have taken like a few minutes, but it felt like forever. Day 30 was monster or supernatural, and finally, I drew a Minecraft SMP. What I'm drawing here is Grian and Mumbo Jumbo from Hermitcraft Season 10, specifically a part of one of Grian's episodes. Mumbo just flies over to him, and his skin has changed so he has gray hair.
In a situation.
Wait. Look at the floor.
Yep.
Have you grayed?
Have I?
Are you getting old? I see you removed the waffle, but when did you become Dracula?
Does it at least look good?
Sure.
Kill me! Kill me, great!
There's been this fan idea of a vampire Mumbo Jumbo for a while, and this is absolutely propaganda for vampire mumbo jumbo. I really like the vampire mumbo jumbo concept. Vampires are cool. The final day was 31, and the prompt was Halloween. What I thought was scarier than any monster or cryptid for Halloween was the type of art supplies that get really messy and absolutely everywhere because you don't have a lot of experience in them. So I drew another Roblox NPC, this one, Party Noob from Regretavator, in oil pastels, which awesome game. Like, it genuinely improves on the elevator genre, and the care that developers put into it is so abundantly present. They have multiple, like 10 or so writers for the game. If you're hiring writers for your NPC dialogue, you know there's just carefully crafted lore with dedication and time put in. There are actual video essays explaining the draw of Regretavator that are pretty cool, so I'll show some of those on screen instead of doing a whole mini essay myself. The oil pastels, after swatching them and practicing how they blended, ended up being pretty fun to use. The only problem besides the messiness is that I think the scale of the draw was too small, so I couldn't add much small details that would have required thin lines that just were too thin for the pastels at this scale. It was fun though. And isn't that what 30-day prompt challenges are all about? Isn't that what being cringed is about? I finished the challenge! Almost. Day 15 coming before 2025. Cringetober was fun, though some days probably more fun than others in their results, and it's cool how the guy who made this Cringetober prompt list included some prompts with the intention for the artist to branch out into other mediums like animation or cosplay or makeup. Honestly, I just like getting the chance to draw a bunch of self-indulgent fan content. Partially because of time, but also because for some reason it's just not what I gravitate towards really anymore. At least more recently, because more recently what tends to occupy my mind is just school and my own characters in D&D. And I haven't got much time to watch new series or read new books. I do the thing where I'll purposefully not watch a show, because I just know that once I do, I'll be obsessed with it for weeks. And I don't really want to deal with that right now, because I want to focus on other things. I want to be productive. However, this has not stopped me from obsessively filling Pinterest boards about the content that I have read or watched, so at least I can have that. If you enjoyed the video, do whatever you do when you like something, maybe leave a like or comment, I don't know. If you want to see more, then subscribe, because I am going to post in less than 3 months, and to supplement the upload gaps, you can follow me on TikTok or Instagram. Links to those in the description box, and the usernames are on screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you some other time. I don't know, I have no idea.